Wait, do you hear that? Sounds like a phone ringing. It might just be because you're in the presence of SCP-1498, known by many as dialream. You'd be forgiven for thinking these were just regular sheep, just like the kind you'd count as you drifted off to sleep. But these sheep are anything but regular. In fact, they're not even sheep. Each of the 30 instances, it's now 31, each of these creatures is actually a living rotary phone. Its cord coiled into a sheep-like body with the phone itself acting as the creature's face. And you know you're in for a truly surreal time when this is actually the least weird thing about the anomaly we're dealing with today. These electric sheep fit for an android's dream are really just the physical conduits to something far greater and far stranger. A collection of mysterious beings in the world of dreams called the Bell Telephone Collective. And this isn't just us leaping to conclusions here. The words, brought to you by the Bell Telephone Collective, your perfect dream is only a phone away, are inscribed on the underside of every one of the SCP-1498 instances' heads. Already, if you're a seasoned Foundation investigator, alarm bells might be ringing in your heads. An anomaly involving sleep and dreams? A mysterious intangible collective? We must be entering the dream world, the domain of the Weneric and Weneroi Collective. They are the mysterious superconsciousness of beings that have left their bodies behind to manipulate the very fabric of the nocturnal realm that we all clock into every night. If these concepts aren't familiar to you, or you need a refresher to fully understand the truly surreal ideas related to today's SCP, don't worry. We actually have a whole video discussing the concept of the Weneric. It's essential viewing if you want to keep yourself safe while wandering through your dreams. But back to SCP-1498. Because we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of just how peculiar this whole thing is. In fact, you can't even be cleared to experience this knowledge while you're awake. That's why we started the video with a mimetic glyph that would immediately render you asleep, along with subsomatic suggestive fields that would make you dream that you're watching this very YouTube video right now. In actual fact, you're probably drooling on the floor next to your computer chair right now. See? I told you it was gonna get weird. The Bell Telephone Collective, taking its name from the telephone's inventor, one Alexander Graham Bell, is a powerful collective consciousness. It exists in a semi-abstract Weneric space somewhere between Chupan, a large dream city currently situated inside the mind of a man named Jason Graham, and Flavortown, another powerful consciousness center that seemingly originated in the mind of colorful American TV chef Guy Fieri. When dreaming, if you're able to discover its location, you can even physically view the Bell Telephone Collective, since it appears as a giant floating blue tesseract large enough to house 1 to 3 Wisconsins. We don't have any description of what the Bell Telephone Collective looks like on the inside, because entering appears to be a one-way street. To this day, nobody who has ever entered has been able to return. But you don't need to enter the Tesseract to have an interaction with the Bell Telephone Collective, because if you still own a landline, against all odds, they can certainly interact with you. In fact, you're the target demographic for their unique service, and if you're amenable to letting them into your brain, they can quite literally sell you the dream. But first, we interrupt this stream for an important message from our dream sponsors here at SCP Explained. With the death penalty becoming increasingly uncommon in the modern world, we're running low on D-Class personnel. Ever wanted to truly learn about the anomalies at the SCP Foundation up close? This is your chance. Subscribe to SCP Explained and hit the bell to turn on notifications, and you'll be added to our lottery poll for selection as a volunteer test subject. And if you don't subscribe, we might still use you, just not with any of the anomalies you'd want to get tested on. Better subscribe before it's too late. So, what do we mean by the Bell Telephone Collective selling you the dream? If you're their target market, then you'll know they're trying to get in contact if you hear a corded telephone ringing for you in the middle of a dream. It's typically positioned in a place where it's very strange for a phone like that to be, such as under the sink, inside an active volcano, or orbiting Jupiter. If you find and answer this phone, you'll be put directly in touch with a representative with a unique offer to customize the particulars of your dream to your liking. And if you tell them exactly what you want, they'll give you the dream of your, well, dreams. Once the details are settled with your representative, the phone will play a series of tones that are perfectly formulated to alter your brain chemistry. It's a process that they call mind freaking, based on the old analog phone hacking popular during the latter half of the 20th century. At this point, your dream will reset back to its start, and then play out with all the changes that you previously requested. Seems like a deal with no downsides, right? The problem is, the dreamscape is a shared space, so messing around with the details and timeline of your own dream causes damage to the wider environment that everyone else is spending time in. That's why the SCP Foundation and their allies within the Woneric realm have needed to get involved in policing the actions of the Bell Telephone Company. Naturally, there have been several different major incidents involving the Bell Telephone Company since they were first discovered with the invention of the corded phone well over a century ago. The SCP Foundation out here in the corporeal world have been working to slowly lessen their influence. We have been helping to develop mobile phone technology and thus lessen the number of humans who still use corded phones and are susceptible to their effects. You'd be genuinely shocked at the number of people who still use landlines. The first piece of correlated phenomena occurred on August 4, 1922, with the burial of aforementioned inventor of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, in Ben Breg. When his relatives returned home that very night, they all received a shared dream that we believe to be the moment in which the Bell Telephone Collective was formed. We know from multiple diary entries from the Bell family, they dreamed looking out of the windows of the manor and seeing Bell still alive. He was standing in the dark and talking with an individual that they couldn't quite make out. Naturally, seeing one of their beloved deceased relative brought back to life, they ran out and attempted to talk to them. However, Bell and the unidentified figure were already gone at this point. They were instead replaced by a large tree festooned in a mess of white cords. It seemed that a contract had been made between Bell and the Woneroi Collective superconsciousness, and the Bell Telephone Collective had been the result. Exactly a year later, there was a strange incident in the Woneric world, when multiple telephone poles fired out of the ground inside the Bite Out of Crime Gastrothek and Felony Lounge, a restaurant where all crime is legal to commit, since it's in a dream and there aren't any real consequences anyway. The Woneric World Police Department sent in agents to try to arrest the Poles for their bizarre intrusion. The problem was, because all crime was legal in the Felony Lounge, they had no grounds on which to prosecute the Poles, and the chaos was primed to continue. And continue it did. In 1968, Joy Bubbles, the pioneer of freaking on which the principles of mind freaking are based, received a call that the Foundation believes came from the middle of the Woneric world. The call said something strange and incomprehensible. Am I coming through? Ozone taste in the doctor parade. Listen. Scoop the bassoon. Close the signal. Overstand? This was followed by 5 seconds of room tone, before the voice spoke up again, saying, Come here. Joy Bubbles was an eccentric genius, a blind man with perfect pitch, capable of making high-pitched noises with his mouth that let him hack into phones. Clearly, he had knowledge that was valuable to the developing organization, and given what they're capable of doing today, clearly the knowledge was conveyed. On April 7, 1995, they demonstrated what seemed to be the true extent of their danger when they caused a localized Babel-class incomprehension event on every telecommunication device in Mobile, Alabama for 3 hours. What does this mean? Given enough time, they may be capable of completely eliminating the human capacity to communicate via electronic telecommunication devices. Naturally, the Foundation was eager to know more about the mysterious organization that was mind-freaking the dreamscape, one individual dreamer at a time. To that end, Agent Fronn, a Foundation field agent skilled in the ways of Woneric manipulation, was assigned to the task of interviewing a member of the Bell Telephone Collective after willingly interfacing with SCP-1498. The Foundation was able to see what she saw in her dream by implanting a video recording parasite into her shadow, her purpose-built dream avatar. She entered the dream in a vast field in what seemed to be the middle of nowhere. There was a single modern-day telephone box in the middle of the field, and the phone inside was ringing. She approached, picked up the phone, and began the interview. She said, Hello, is this the Bell Telephone Collective? I was told this number was... The strange voice of the representative on the other end immediately cut her off, saying, Hello? Yes, this is the Bell Telephone Collective. To you, am I speaking? My name is Agent Fronn. I'm a member of a dream regulation organization. Do you have a moment to answer some questions about your communal consciousness?" After a moment's pause, the representative said, "You can call me about anything." Trying to ignore the incredibly strange diction of the representative, Agent Fronn persisted, asking, "Thank you for your cooperation. Firstly, I'd like to ask why your collective has continued to do—" And I'm afraid I can't tell you what the representatives replied. That's sometimes just the way it is with the SCP Foundation. And when you hear about what happened to Agent Fronn in a few moments, you'll realize that sometimes it actually is better not to hear certain things. Fronn replied to the information we're not at liberty to share with, "I see. And do you have any intention of stopping?" The entity on the other end replied, No, we will not cease operations. Our operators are toll-free 24 hours in service. Can you tell me why you operate the way that you do? Sound is strange. Voice is strange. Strange in what way? Agent Fronn began to get the eeriest feeling at this point, and perhaps if she heeded that primal gut instinct and ended the call, her life would have gone very differently from that point. When the representative spoke again, there was something strange in its voice, a strained quality, like it was having to force each word into existence with great effort. Speeches, meaning, inside of language, inside of ways. Pieces are bound to get lost in transit. Miscommunication inevitable? I don't understand. Can you elaborate? At this point, the voice on the phone sounded actively deranged, saying, "Have you heard machines dream of electric sheep?" But that's not correct, Amundo. No, it's the electric sound that dreams of. And then Agent Fronn said two simple little words that changed the course of her existence forever. Of what? And so the freaking began. An incredibly strange tone played down the line, one that we wouldn't try to recreate here for the one-heroic hazard that it would risk exposing you to. Agent Fronn did not receive that same courtesy. I'm sorry to report, the recording from the parasite embedded in her shadow failed, and the agents attending to her corporeal body attempted to rouse her from her sleep. However, no matter what they tried, it didn't work. She remained deep in REM sleep, and there appeared to be no way they could contact her shadow in the one-heroic realm. And then began the physiological changes too. Over the next 72 hours, Foundation physicians in the medbay where Agent Fronn was being held noticed these strange holes appearing in her body. It was as though she was becoming porous, sponge-like. As her skin also became increasingly pale. In the hours that followed, it was as though she unspooled. Her skin changed, and her skin fell away, revealing its new structure as an old-fashioned rotary phone. Her body became reams of twisted white cord, reformatting itself into the shape of an SCP-1498 instance. That's how we went from having 30 instances of SCP-1498 to 31, by the way. You see, even here in dreams, you're not safe. An action as simple as answering a phone, as having a conversation, can change you forever before you even wake up. They can alter you, warp you, corrupt you, make you beautiful, like a beautiful dream. Wait, can you hear that? I want to see you. Come here. Did you know that a sound carries? I want to see you. It's true. A sound can carry all sorts of things. Come here. Thoughts, feelings, dreams. I want to see you. They leave traces as they pass through wires. They accumulate. Come here. Strange ideas, esoteric patterns, asymmetric syllables. I want to see you. Do not forget, the first phone call was a summoning. Come here. Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you. I want to see you. Did he never wonder if anyone else was listening? Come here. Come here. Come here. I want to wake up. Do you hear ringing? I think it's for you. Still trapped in the dream? We recommend you check out SCP Community, 15 Insane Ways to Escape Containment, and 21 Nightmares in SCP Containment, SCPs that will haunt your dreams, for more.